The Toyota Recreational Active Vehicle with four-wheel drive, or RAV4 for short, is one of the original SUVs on the market, having been first introduced way back in 1994. It's proved a hit to the point where we're now at the 5th generation of RAV4, and it's got a new name: Robust Accurate Vehicle with Four-Wheel Drive, or RAV4 still. Clunky names aside, the SUV game has moved on considerably in recent years, so the new RAV4 has got to be good.
So this is it, the new 2019 model with a bolder, more adventurous look than before. We'll let you decide whether its high ride height and lower roof and bonnet make it a snazzy looker or not, but it's certainly well equipped.
All models get a reversing camera, alloy wheels, LED headlights and parking sensors on the outside, and a DAB radio, big touchscreen and digital dash on the inside.
There are 4 trim levels: Icon, Design, XL and Dynamic, all of which sound like office software programs, but the interior is pretty much the same on all of them. It's not too bad in here, everything is screwed together quite well, although some of the plastics are a little bit cheapy. It's certainly not up there with the likes of Volkswagen when it comes to quality of materials, but the seats are comfy and there's plenty of room in the back for 3 adults. Space overall is up compared to the outgoing car, with more adjustability on the steering wheel and the seat, and the boot at 580 litres is an impressive 79 litres bigger than the old car. There are plenty of cubby holes, cup holders, shelves and so on to store things on. All cars have this 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, which, if I'm being honest, is a bit of a disappointment. It doesn't feature Android Auto or Apple CarPlay at all, let alone as an option, which in a brand new car is pretty terrible. And the Toyota system is a bit clunky to use. The sat-nav's really hard to read, and during our admittedly short time with the car, it's taking us on some interesting routes. Toyota has ditched diesel entirely for this new RAV4 in favour of its hybrid system. That means a 2.5 litre petrol engine mated to an electric motor that combined give 218 horsepower. You can get your car either in front-wheel drive, which surely should be called RAV2, or for a couple of extra £1,000 you can have an all-wheel drive system that uses an extra electric motor on the rear axle to turn the rear wheels. This might be particularly useful if you live in part of the country where having extra traction is useful, or if you need to tow stuff. All-wheel drive models also get a little bit of extra horsepower, taking it up to 222. One of the best things about diesel engines is the amount of grunt that they naturally have low down, which means you don't need to rev the engine loads to make decent progress. Petrol engines don't have that, and while the electric motor tries its best to make up for that shortfall, you'll still find the engine yowling and howling and whining away as it strains for extra revs and power. It's not a particularly evocative sound, although the engine performance is punchy enough. You don't particularly feel that you're short of power, but it is all rather noisy. There's also quite a lot of wind noise whistling around the front end, which means that progress generally is not quite as refined as maybe you'd expect. Because of all the hybrid gubbins under the surface, the RAV4 is not a particularly light car, although it does feel heavier than it actually is, especially when braking and through the corners if you try and be in any way enthusiastic. If you're looking for a sharp drive in an SUV of this size, we'd steer you towards Mazda's CX-5. The RAV4 is much more at home at a cruise because the softer suspension makes for a much more comfortable ride. It's easily comfortable enough for very long journeys. Now, where the RAV4 particularly shines is with its environmental credentials thanks to its hybrid powertrain. Company car fans particularly will be big fans of the low CO2 emissions because they are directly linked to company car tax. As a result, somebody running a RAV4 compared to, say, a Volkswagen Tiguan diesel or even Honda's CR-V hybrid could find that they're paying thousands of pounds less in tax. It's important to note that this is not a plug-in hybrid, which means you can't plug it into the mains to recharge the battery. All the recharging comes from braking or cruising. That takes away a bit of the flexibility, and for those that do lots of shorter journeys, they won't benefit from such good fuel economy. The new RAV4 has plenty going for it, especially if you're a business user, because a lot of those shortcomings can be masked if you're saving thousands of pounds compared to rivals. Those for whom a hybrid system is a major attraction will find a well-built and likely very reliable car that comes with lots of standard equipment, including safety equipment. It should also hold its value pretty well when you come to sell it. For other people though, they may look at rivals like the Skoda Kodiaq and find that it offers a better all-round package. If you're after a big SUV, then the RAV4 should absolutely be on your long list of cars to check out, but make sure that the things that it's good at match your list of priorities. Now, for even more information on the Toyota RAV4, check out our full in-depth written review at autotrader.co.uk. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up, and why not subscribe? It doesn't cost you anything. We've got loads of great content to help you find your next car.